What's up, cool people? Welcome to another study stream Saturday. Pretty much right on time with the usual. Um, so yeah, uh, I might be tooling around with a little bit of something here in a sec, but let me just do my usual, making sure audio stuff is working right. Okay, seems okay on YouTube. Seems okay on Kick, if a bit delayed, perhaps. Um, I'm also wondering if I should do something in particular related to the window capture. Hey, what's up, Owl? How's it going? Um, I'm kind of questioning if I should try and do something in particular here. Maybe like, uh, I guess that's, no wait, that's moving it. I don't want to move it. I want to like expand it. Okay. I'm tooling around with a little bit of something here because it's related to something I might fiddle around with here in a second. Um, I am doing pretty good, Owl. At least today. I was actually at a wedding a little while before this, and it was definitely on the like smaller side of things, but the way that it went, I appreciated that there wasn't a whole lot of like extra fluff with any of the proceedings. So yeah, on the whole, decent day. I wound up helping a bit with like setting up and tearing down as well, but it's all good, especially for a fairly close friend. Um, okay, before I get fiddling around too much more with stream windows and settings and things like that, let me pop out the Kick chat. So, Al, you're the main person I wanted to make aware of my streaming news here. Also, yes, appreciate your help relative to the YouTube subscriber goal. I'm excited at the possibility of hitting my goal for the year. It seemed like it was pretty well on track, but it like slowed down for quite a while. All right, I'm gonna fiddle around with something here for a sec to see if it'll work. And Al, depending on what you might have pulled up, you might see a notification somewhere or another here in a second. But I also want to give it a little bit, see if it's even actually working. All right, come on. Up. And frame drops. That's what I was worried about. I'll give it a sec, see if it's still real bad like that. But I get a feeling that it's... Yeah, I don't see this leveling out real quick. Okay. Yeah, no. Experiment done for the moment. Sorry if I'm being a little cryptic here. Okay. I'll try and work on that another time. So, the streaming related news is, so I don't know, Owl, if you have heard any updates regarding a particular streaming platform, but okay, once my freaking frame rate gets under control here, I'll actually dig into the details of it. Sorry if it feels like I'm dragging things on a bit. But, okay, whatever. If this is coming through relatively alright, I'll start getting into the details. So, hold up. Let me not mess up my microphone here. Yeah, that's the general gist of what I'm getting at here. So, I think you probably heard me mention before, I was considering, whether or not to potentially stop streaming on Kick after the whole controversy about that one streamer basically having a hand in some, like, kind of borderline sexual harassment. But with no real standout secondary place to go, I was thinking to myself, I might stay on Kick. It's, been touted as somewhat of a almost Wild West, more upstart kind of feel to it. And is it really their job to punish their streamers for doing debatably illegal things, or is that more so the law's job? That was my thought process at the time. But now, with this news coming out about Twitch allowing, simulcasting, as they call it, I may very well kind of move away from Kick and go back to Twitch as my secondary. Because this was the main reason that I moved away from Twitch in the first place, was not allowing multi-stream simulcasting kind of stuff like that. Now, there are some caveats to it. Most of those don't really affect the way that I do my streams, though. So, yeah, I may want to dig a little deeper into it to find out slightly more information, because I have yet to confirm whether or not, any Twitch partners or affiliates are allowed to do the simulcasting. Because up until this point, at least, it's been, like, within the contract of partners for sure, potentially even affiliates, saying that Twitch, won't allow, or that they agree to not simulcast on other platforms as part of the, agreement of getting the perks of partner or affiliate. Still need to dig a little deeper into that info, but I am, if I don't find out anything stating that that's a problem, I mean, shoot, even for me, I'm not at that level yet, so obviously I wouldn't be breaking the terms of service anymore. But, especially if it comes out that, no, partners and affiliates are fine to also simulcast, just with these caveats that we've mentioned, then that's all the more reason for me to kind of move back to Twitch. Because honestly, there's features and community on Twitch that doesn't really seem to be anywhere else. No matter what happens, YouTube is still my primary content outlet. That's I don't think ever going to change unless YouTube suddenly gets swallowed up in a black hole or something. But yeah, what I was tooling around with for a second there was seeing if my internet and or OBS, whatever, the whole situation, if it could handle doing YouTube, Kick, and Twitch all simultaneously. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. The second I got into that and added Twitch to the mix today, it was, yeah. My frame rate in OBS was sitting at a consistent, like, 2,000 something kilobits per second. Normally, when it's steady, it's setting at, like, 5,000. So, yeah, not great. I wouldn't want to have that much of a dip in quality. So, now that I've fiddled around with that, it seems like I'm gonna have to just make a choice between Kick or Twitch. And again, given the previous kind of controversy and other considerations, I lean more towards going with Twitch as the secondary. But I won't officially start that for a little while, just because A, it's really short notice at the moment, and then next week I don't have any streams, so like maybe the week after I come back from my family visit will be the week that sort of kicks back in. So, yeah. Putting the word out there. And I will, I guess, apologize a bit to my Kick viewers, but there weren't too many people I had on there that were consistent. There aren't, I should say, still active at the moment for this live stream. Not too many active people in my streams on Kick. Only had 10 followers anyway. Usually only like 2 or 3 viewers. If anybody who's watching this on Kick wants to continue viewing my live streams, you'll be able to find me on YouTube or Twitch. But anyway, so that's the big stream announcement, at least regarding my stuff, and really big streaming related announcement for a lot of people. I actually already recorded, edited, and have all but uploaded a video going into greater detail of my thoughts related to that transition and, you know, that whole just situation as it pertains to streaming on Twitch. That'll be coming on YouTube. I want to say it's going to be next Sunday, something like that, or at least that's the plan. In the upcoming week or two, I think. But long story short on that, my understanding of the caveats with simulcasting on Twitch basically are that don't use the chat to redirect people to other content platforms, and like don't have a lesser viewer experience on Twitch compared to what you have on other streaming platforms while you're doing those simultaneously. That's the general gist of it. But yeah, that was also why I went to my window up here and like sort of adjusted things to not have the browser tabs showing anymore. Because that would also say that, oh hey, yeah, I'm also on these other platforms. Minor adjustment to make for bringing Twitch on into things. And I'm just now realizing how far behind the stream is compared to what I'm saying. Probably in large part due to all those dropped frames that I had. Anywho. Well, now that I'm on this window here, it is Study Stream Saturday. Suppose it's about time I start getting into the Bible study stuff. So yeah, gonna be continuing in Joshua here. Not too much else to say before I start recording and get into context details. Man. Real quick. Okay, whatever. I'm trying not to completely ignore phone notifications. Sorry. While I stream. But most of it's probably just like, oh, hey, so-and-so liked your video on this platform. Because I published a short video on, well, a short on YouTube, as well as like that same video as a reel on Instagram and Facebook and a TikTok video. Anywho, okay. I think that's enough time to get caught up with stuff and get mentally prepared for Bible study here. So, yeah. I guess we'll get to it, and I'll get into context in a second here once I start recording. So, here we go. All right. So, we're looking at Joshua chapter 3. Previous couple of chapters basically just involved saying, hey, Joshua is officially the leader of Israel now. He's going to be the one leading them across the Jordan River. And he basically tells the people, all right, we've got a few days to get ready, but we're about to do this thing. Meanwhile, in chapter 2, it said that he sent some spies over to Jericho to sort of scout things out, see what the situation is over there, and then bring a report back to him. And the scouts almost got caught, but with some help from Rahab, they were able to hide and then sneak out a different way and then eventually make it back, with an agreement that they would keep Rahab and anyone in her house safe whenever, the armies of Israel come and invade. So, yeah. That's, I guess, the context for what's going on in chapter 3 here. So, here we go. Joshua, chapter 3. Making sure I had the version there that I normally use for these. Anyway, I'll say more about that another time. Edit that out of the eventual recording, edited video thing. Anyway, okay. Here we go. Joshua chapter 3. Early the next morning, Joshua and all the Israelites left Acacia Grove and arrived at the banks of the Jordan River, where they camped before crossing. 3 days later, the Israelite officers went through the camp, giving these instructions to the people. When you see the Levitical priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, your God, move out from your positions and follow them. Since you have never traveled this way before, they will guide you. Stay about half a mile behind them, keeping a clear distance between you and the Ark. Make sure you don't come any closer. Interesting that it had to be that much distance between them. I know there's some stuff that comes up in other instances related to, like, the touching of the Ark of the Covenant, but, like, half a mile is not necessary regarding that stuff. Maybe that'll make more sense in a little bit here, but, so yeah. They've now advanced to like right at the Jordan River, and they're getting ready to cross over. But the priests are going to lead the way, carrying the Ark of the Covenant, which I kind of assume represents in a way that like God is going out before the people, leading the way. While it might physically look like it's the priest leading the way, metaphorically and spiritually, it is God leading the way for them. Footnote there at Acacia Grove, Hebrew just says Shittim. That's just the actual Hebrew name of the place. Some of these renames, some of them are just for better understanding of modern context. So we might know that, oh, hey, yeah, I am kind of vaguely familiar with this place and where it is and the geography. Other times, I think it's more so, a rename that's like based on the possible meaning of the original Hebrew name. I assume this is more so the latter. Also gives you an idea of, what the area was like. I mean, Acacia Grove. Acacia being a type tree. And yeah, anyway. Footnote there at the half a mile. Hebrew says about 2,000 cubits, which could also be roughly 920 meters. Yeah, that's a little under half a mile to my understanding. Because pretty sure it's over 2 kilometers in a mile. But anyway, details. General, that's why it says about half a mile, I guess. Also, like, none of them had ever traveled this way before. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess it wasn't so much a like, oh yeah, these priests are going to lead the way because they know where to go. Maybe it's more so just because they're being led by God, and then the people are going to be led by the priests who are being led by God. Anyway. All right. On to verse 5. Then Joshua told the people, "Purify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do great wonders among you." In the morning, Joshua said to the priests, "Lift up the Ark of the Covenant and lead the people across the river." And so they started out and went ahead of the people. The Lord told Joshua, "Today I will begin to make you a great leader in the eyes of all the Israelites. They will know that I am with you, just as I was with Moses. Give this command to the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant. When you reach the banks of the Jordan River, take a few steps into the river and stop there." Okay. So I guess maybe this was after the 3 days that they waited at the banks of the Jordan. Then Josh, obviously, wanting to get them ready, purifying themselves would be all the more, showing their desire to follow God in this situation. And then priests are taking the Ark of the Covenant and leading the people, and they're going to take a few steps in with the Ark of the Covenant and stop there. And we'll get to why that's the case a bit later. Anyway. Oh, actually, okay, so the Lord told Joshua to tell the priests about carrying the Ark of the Covenant and stopping a few steps into the river. Anyway, slight detail, but can be a bit important. Because sometimes, the people speaking after God tells them to say something will add things or subtract things from what God said, and that can make a difference in the outcome of the broader situation. But anyway. Alright, verse 9. So Joshua told the Israelites, "Come and listen to what the Lord your God says. Today you will know that the living God is among you. He will surely drive out the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites ahead of you. Look, the Ark of the Covenant, which belongs to the Lord of the whole earth, will lead you across the Jordan River. Now choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, one from each tribe. The priests will carry the Ark of the Lord of all the earth. As soon as their feet touch the water, the flow of water will be cut off upstream, and the river will stand up like a wall." So, they're being led by the priests with the Ark of the Covenant. And then after the priests step into the water, kind of them slash the Ark of the Covenant itself, in a way, are going to act like, I don't know, I just imagine this almost like sort of barrier type thing almost. But maybe that's not quite the correct imagery to think of there. In any case, wherever they end up stepping into the river, right around there, the flow is going to get stopped up, and then the rest of the river from that point on is going to dry out. So, not quite the same as what happened at the Red Sea when they crossed there, because there wasn't anybody necessarily standing in the river with the whole, parting of it going on, or standing in the Red Sea with the parting of it going on. But still a very similar idea of like, all right, we're crossing a body of water, but God's going to, make it dry at a certain point for his people to cross. So much like they crossed the Red Sea to get out of Egypt and out of their slavery, then the next big step into, enacting God's promise and moving toward their ultimate destination in this case is that, Jordan River is going to get stopped up and they'll be able to cross on dry land. Anyway, hello there, Shimmy Sheem over on Kick. How's it going? I'm just doing a bit of Bible study here, I've been going through the Bible pretty much from beginning to end. I still have a lot left to go, but this is as far as I've gotten to this point. This is coming from Joshua chapter 3 right now. To answer your question of what this is. Once I get done with the Bible study portion, which is going to cover this chapter and the next one, then I usually transition into just some chill time where I'm playing a video game and I, leave things open for discussion. And I'm doing this just as an opportunity for people to, engage, ask questions, learn, whatever. you know, generally trying to keep it peaceable and welcoming. So, you say you go to the Church of Satan. I'm not going to like completely shun you or anything like that. I am just going to say that, from a religious standpoint, I respectfully disagree with your current course of action. But even if that's what you do, I mean, if you're wanting to learn more stuff about the Bible, I mean, I guess this is still useful in that regard, whether or not you believe it. Anyway, so yeah, feel free to leave comments and stuff in the chat. If it gets too extreme, I will take action on that. But also, while I'm reading stuff, I'm not going to be able to respond right away to any chat comments. Just so you know, in case you leave a comment there and it takes a little while before I respond, I'm not ignoring, just, I don't want to interrupt a train of thought. Anyway. So, yeah, didn't really have any other thoughts related to this set of verses here. So I'll move along to verse 14. Probably just wrap up the reading for the chapter, and then I'll give any other thoughts that I have. So, verse 14. So the people left their camp to cross the Jordan, and the priests who were carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. It was the harvest season, and the Jordan was overflowing its banks. But as soon as the feet of the priests who were carrying the ark touched the water at the river's edge, the water above that point began backing up a great distance away at a town called Adam, which is near Zarethan. And the water below that point flowed on to the Dead Sea, until the riverbed was dry. Then all the people crossed over near the town of Jericho. Meanwhile, the priests who were carrying the Ark of the Lord's Covenant stood on dry ground in the middle of the riverbed as the people passed by. They waited there until the whole nation of Israel had crossed the Jordan on dry ground. Also, Adam? Maybe that's a name from a different culture, because I'm like, okay, Adam was the first person to exist according to the Bible, and my understanding of the Hebrew translation of that, maybe just as a name for a person, would have been like Dirt Man, but maybe as a town name it means something a little different. Could be Dirt Town for all I know, but anyway, so yeah, priests walk into the river stops up. Further ahead, people are able to cross on dry ground, and the way that it's described with what happened around the priests, I would assume that, once everybody else had crossed over, they were also able to finish crossing and get through just fine. Also, as soon as the feet of the priests touched the water, then the river stopped up. So it was like, it was clear and obvious that it was like, all right, yeah, that was kind of the trigger for that stuff happening. Footnote there at Dead Sea, Hebrew says the Sea of the Arabah, or the Salt Sea, which the Dead Sea is very salty. We all know that. Again, probably just one of those different name for it sort of things. The rename here is probably more so for the sake of a modern understanding, so we have an idea of what's going on here. and where it's happening. So I'm just trying to, the way that this is worded makes it, I guess. So does the river flow to the Dead Sea or from the Dead Sea is what I'm trying to figure out. But I guess not really a super important detail. Sometimes I like overanalyze a little bit trying to figure out details. Anywho, so yeah, the Israelites have now crossed the Jordan River, I assume into or at least very near Jericho, because it said that that was right around where they crossed over at some, yeah, then all the people crossed over near the town of Jericho. So as this chapter ends, they're near Jericho. But yeah, guess that does it for Joshua chapter 3. Okay, I'll get ready to move along to chapter 4, which is slightly longer, but not that much longer. Get a sip of water here. Yeah. Regarding your last comment there, Owl, yeah, I, like, anything that I have seen and experienced in my life, like, being super judgmental, just, it doesn't help. So I don't see the point of being like that. If I'm going to try to, win people over, so to speak, and, try my best to get somebody to see, feel, experience God's love for us, I'm not going to do that by, like, being super judgy. And any instance of somebody getting, like, judged harshly, shunned, exiled, excommunicated, whatever word you want to put in there, basically pushed away from the church, anytime I've seen that happen or heard about it, the person getting pushed away pretty much ends up resentful at best. So, like, no. if I, as a Christian, then am trying to, get people, lead them to God, then anything that I see that tends to turn people away from God and make them resent the church is the opposite of what I want to do. So, yeah, that's my thinking. Now, I will admit, there was somebody who popped into Kick Chat a while ago, like months ago in a stream, and their very first words in the chat were involving an expletive that I will not repeat. But it was like, "What's up, expletive?" And I was like, okay, well, if that's the first thing you're going to say to me, then, I mean, look, you do you, but, yeah, I'm banning you from my chat. Because, especially if somebody leads off with that, it's generally not the kind of personality that I'm going to gel with. Now, I mean, if that was how they started things off in real life, I would just kind of, I guess, respond like, yeah, hi to you too. And just, like, maybe carry on conversation a little bit, give him slightly more of a chance to, not come across as just a complete jerkwad. But on the internet, the chances of somebody being a jerk, especially when they lead off with something like that, is a little bit higher than, in person-to-person interactions, at least in my experience. Anywho, okay. Enough rambling on about just random situations. But yeah, that legitimately happened at one point. That was the first thing somebody said to me in Kick Chat one time. And I was just like, yeah, nope, not having that. Anywho, okay. I guess it's about time to move on to the next chapter of our Bible study here. Here we go. Okay. Now we're looking at Joshua chapter 4. So, Israelites have crossed the Jordan River now, and they are near Jericho. That's kind of where things stand at the moment. Not too much else that needs to be explained. So, here we go, I guess. Joshua chapter 4. When all the people had crossed the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Now choose 12 men, one from each tribe. Tell them, take 12 stones from the very place where the priests are standing in the middle of the Jordan. Carry them out and pile them up at the place where you will camp tonight." So the priests are still in the Jordan River right now. But it was mentioned earlier at some point in Deuteronomy that once they crossed the Jordan, they were supposed to set up an altar made of uncut stones. And this is what I assume they're in the process of doing right now. So, pretty self-explanatory what happens there. 12 men chosen. Each one takes a stone from the river. And, I guess then once they set up camp, they're going to pile up the stones and make an altar of sorts out of it. Then verse 4. So Joshua called together the 12 men he had chosen, one from each of the tribes of Israel. He told them, "Go into the middle of the Jordan, in front of the ark of the Lord your God. Each of you must pick up one stone and carry it out on your shoulder, 12 stones in all, one for each of the tribes of Israel. We will use these stones to build a memorial. In the future, your children will ask you, 'What do these stones mean?' Then you could tell them, 'They remind us that the Jordan River stopped flowing when the ark of the Lord's covenant went across. These stones will stand as a memorial among the people of Israel forever.'" So, really, the altar/memorial is just there to mark this particular occasion, saying how God allowed them to cross the Jordan River on dry ground. And there's actually a couple of things that I'm familiar with that actually derive their names from this particular moment in the Bible. I think there's actually like a Christian rock band, or at least was at one point a Christian rock band called 12 Stones. That's based off of this. The church that I go to also derives its name from this, but it went with Stonewater for the name of the church because, the stones were taken out of a place where there's normally water. But yeah, I don't recall an altar being set up when they crossed the Red Sea, but then again, with that being more of a sea instead of a river, and given the context that, they had just, finished running away from the armies of Egypt. It maybe wasn't the best context to try and set up an altar there. They did set one up at Mount Sinai, if I remember right. So, I mean, close enough. But anyway, so yeah. Stone set up as a memorial to mark the occasion for, when future generations might ask about it. Pretty much the same idea as most, like, memorials and statues and things like that are set up for. It's to remember a particular event or person or something like that stood out within the history of a place or a people group. Anyway. Alright. Moving on to verse 8. So the men did as Joshua had commanded them. They took 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan River, one for each tribe, just as the Lord had told Joshua. They carried them to the place where they camped for the night and constructed the memorial there. Joshua also set up another pile of 12 stones in the middle of the Jordan, at the place where the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant were standing, and they are there to this day. This day being in the context of, like, probably more so the original readers. I can't guarantee that those stones are still there, like, in current modern day. They might be. But I know, based on previous conversations we've had in live streams, that the Jordan River is much drier nowadays than it was before. So it's possible that in the midst of one of those dry seasons, those stones could have gotten moved, or just from the fact of being in the river, that those stones would have, like, eroded or something. But in any case, so there was actually another altar pile thing set up in the river itself by Joshua. Maybe that's more so where Stonewater Church gets its name from. Because the stones are actually in the water in that case. Anywho. Okay. On to verse 10. The priests who were carrying the ark stood in the middle of the river until all the Lord's commands that Moses had given to Joshua were carried out. Meanwhile, the people hurried across the riverbed, and when everyone was safely on the other side, the priests crossed over with the ark of the Lord as the people watched. The armed warriors from... you know what? Let me pause for a sec before getting into that next bit. So, it didn't say it outright before, but it seems like with the way that verses 10 and 11 here are worded, that some of this stuff happened kind of simultaneously. Like, while the bulk of the people were crossing the Jordan River, there were also the tribal leaders gathering the stones. And there was also Joshua setting up the stones in the riverbed. So, yeah. And then after all that, the priests finally make the rest of the walk across the riverbed. Okay. Now I feel like I can get into verse 12. The armed warriors from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh led the Israelites across the Jordan, just as Moses had directed. These armed men, about 40,000 strong, were ready for battle, and the Lord was with them as they crossed over to the plains of Jericho. That day the Lord made Joshua a great leader in the eyes of all the Israelites, and the rest of his life they revered him as much as they had revered Moses. And it doesn't even say specifically what Joshua did that made him stand out as a great leader to the people. Other than, I guess, that, like, he gave these commands to the people, pretty much said what was going to happen and how it was going to happen, and it happened exactly that way. And of course, it mentions these tribes and their armies specifically because those were the ones that the rest of their people had settled on the east side of the Jordan River before crossing, but they were still going over with everybody else. These armies were going over with the rest of the tribes to help lead the charge to, settle the rest of the promised land opposite the Jordan River. Anyway, hello again on Kick. I'm Andrew Tate. Your name might be Andrew Tate. I wouldn't assume you're that Andrew Tate though, but and more people of different faith backgrounds coming into the chat here. Welcome. I'll say to you what I said to Shimmy Sheem, even if you don't believe what I'm reading here, if you're wanting to learn about it, it's still, a context where you could do that. I'm not going to pretend to know all the answers to any questions you could possibly come up with, but, I've been a Christian for most of my life, really fully committed at about age 12. I'm now 33. And this is not the first time I've read through the entire Bible. So feel free to ask questions if you have any, but I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers. All right, so people cross over. Stones are set up and or taken out of the Jordan River. Now, they're pretty much officially just a bit outside Jericho. And then we get to verse 15. The Lord had said to Joshua, "Command the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant to come up out of the riverbed." So Joshua gave the command. As soon as the priests carrying the Ark of the Lord's Covenant came up out of the riverbed and their feet were on high ground, the water of the Jordan returned and overflowed its banks as before. The people crossed the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month. Then they camped at Gilgal, just east of Jericho. It was there at Gilgal that Joshua piled up the 12 stones taken from the Jordan River. Okay, more chat comments. I'm Andrew Tate on Kick says, I'm developing a game with some friends and I was wondering if you could help us test it. If you mean just like play it a bit, I might be able to do that. I can't say I'm going to have much more, involvement. But, also, no offense here, but might want to, take a second and, I'm not just going to automatically trust somebody who hops into my Kick chat here. So, if we could find some other way of continued interaction for a while, maybe then I'll consider helping you test out your game, but for now, just from my perspective, it doesn't seem like it's the best idea to just trust somebody that much so quickly. Meanwhile, Owl of Nevermore on YouTube mentions that I'm just a few years younger. Cool. I don't really have much else to say there. I hadn't really gotten any indication of your age before there, Owl. At least I don't recall. But suppose it's not like super important to take note of. So thoughts related to the verses that I just read there. Footnote there at Ark of the Covenant, Hebrew says Ark of the Testimony. That was more so just the way that they referred to it. Maybe the original Hebrew wording, the word that we use as covenant here, might have more accurately translated to testimony if you just take the Hebrew word in and of itself. But same thing, different name, basically. So I kept thinking at various points here that, okay, priests have probably crossed over and we're done with this. But then there's more stuff that's happening in the river. Okay, maybe now they've crossed over. No, there's more stuff that's happening. All right, well, now it's pretty clear that, Joshua has now told the priests to leave the riverbed. And then it also gives the context of when, at least going by the Jewish calendar, that they crossed the Jordan River. Footnote gives a little more clarity on this for a modern context. This day in the ancient Hebrew lunar calendar occurred in late March, April, or early May. Because, again, the calendar worked a bit different, so that's why there's kind of the spread of possibility of when it happened. But it would have been springtime, basically. And then Gilgal is a place that will come up at other points later on in the Bible. Some pretty important stuff happens there, but I'm not going to get into that right now. All right. There's stuff going on in the chat right now that I am not going to engage with, at least for the kick chat. I am not here to stir up controversy or talk about controversial issues, at least not at this moment. Owl says it seems like a lot of words have changed in translation in these two chapters. And I think it's more so, again, just sort of the naming being used here that is trying to make it more understandable for a modern audience. So yeah, I think that's kind of the main motivation there, but I at least like the fact that, this translation will include these footnotes that tell you, like, oh, hey, here's what the original Hebrew was, or, yeah, here's another possible way of translating this. There are some translations that aren't so great at letting you know where they might have tweaked some wording, or where, the translators weren't 100% sure which possible translation to go with. Because as you get with, translating things from different languages, there are words that can have multiple meanings as you're trying to translate them. But yeah, that's really the main thing that I'll say regarding, different translations as we might read them today. But anywho, yeah, the main intent in a lot of cases is to try and make it, well, maybe I shouldn't say that for, a lot of translations, but like some, that's kind of more so the intent, is to make it more understandable while keeping somewhat accurate to the original wording and meaning of it. Others, it's more so, all right, we want to try and stick as closely as possible to, the original wording, and as accurately as we can project the meanings of these individual words. We're going to try and stick with that. So sometimes it's more word to word based. Let's try and make it as accurate as possible. Other times it's more so, all right, general situation and maybe per sentence or paragraph or whatever, try and convey what's happening as accurately as possible. So there's kind of a spectrum of a couple of different factors, really, regarding all right, how closely do we stick to the actual original wording? How much do we try and make it more understandable for a newer reader? And also, some of them try and take into consideration different potential reading levels. So, anyway, enough about that thought and translations and whatnot. Suppose it's about time I wrap up the chapter here. Verse 21. Then Joshua said to the Israelites, "In the future your children will ask, 'What do these stones mean?' Then you can tell them, 'This is where the Israelites crossed the Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the river right before your eyes, and he kept it dry until you were all across, just as he did at the Red Sea when he dried it up until we had all crossed over. He did this so all the nations of the earth might know that the Lord's hand is powerful, and so you might fear the Lord your God forever.'" So now it outright states the similarities between this situation and them crossing the Red Sea as they left Egypt. And it already kind of covered the whole future generations asking what it means thing earlier in the chapter, so I don't feel like I need to elaborate too much more on that. This was just Joshua saying that to everybody else, not God telling Joshua to tell the people this or whatever. Or even Joshua just telling it to the leaders. But yeah, especially, with it saying earlier on that that the riverbed was overflowing, it overflowed its banks. This wasn't a low-sitting river at the time, is what that pretty much means. So, if God had not dried that up for them to cross like that, it would have been a whole lot more difficult for them to get across. Not that they couldn't have, but there's probably a whole lot more stuff that they would have had to do. A whole lot of other figurative hoops to jump through to make that work. Footnote at Red Sea says the original Hebrew is Sea of Reeds. Again, renamed in this translation for a modern audience to get an understanding of where that was. So, yeah. The Israelites have now officially 100% crossed the Jordan River, and they've set up a couple of altars to mark the occasion. One on the land across the river, and Joshua, just by his own doing, I guess, also setting up something in the river itself. But yeah, that does it for Joshua chapter 4. Also does it for the Bible study portion of today's live stream. So, Yeah, give me a minute, because TV is over there for video game stuff. I also haven't even figured out which game that I'm going to play right now. There are a couple of things that I could. There are some games that I could play that I have some ideas of what I would do. But yeah, I'm not 100% decided. One of the possibilities I had in mind was actually the game that I was just playing a few days ago in a live stream. There's a bunch of collectible stuff in there that I don't necessarily want to take a bunch of time recording to do all that. So maybe I could do those in today's stream. And then speaking of getting collectibles and, further going for further completion of the game, or of a game, there's also the possibility of Sonic Frontiers and falling back on that. So if anybody has a particular preference... Oh, by the way, the other game in question that's not Sonic Frontiers is... it's a game called Grow Up. Let me actually switch over to Xbox screen here real quick. Yeah, this game, Grow Up. It seems like there's, there's definitely a bunch of collectible things within the game. And it seems like there might be some sort of upgrades or abilities attached to getting those collectibles. So I'm thinking that might also make it easier to actually, progress things in the game. So I'm kind of leaning towards maybe doing that. Otherwise, I would probably just default to Sonic Frontiers over there. I've had enough of streaming Digimon Survive for a while. Maybe once I, get to... maybe once I get to Decision Point again in that game, I might go back to streaming that. Is Grow Up the game you were playing the other... Yeah, Grow Up is the game that I was playing on Thursday. So if you were there for that live stream or even saw like the archive of it on YouTube, that's the game that I was playing. I do think you were actually in on that for a little while, Owl. So yeah, it's the one with the red robot character. If I recall right, I was doing a lot of like gliding around and that kind of stuff whenever you joined in. But anyway, I do still need just a little bit of time to shift my setup over. So, yeah. In the meantime, feel free to comment, whatever. Feel free to comment whether you would have a preference for Grow Up or Sonic Frontiers. And, yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes, I guess. Oh, but let me throw on some music for y'all in the meantime. Which song do I want to go with? I don't think I've played this one on stream. Let's give this a shot. Okay. I will confess, I mistakenly had my microphone turned on, or like projecting stuff in OBS throughout that. I did not mean to. Oh well. Um, Owl, to answer your question about the shirt, yes, it is a Pokemon shirt. Um, Actually, I might want to check on something real quick, because there's a particular shirt that I got a while back as a gift. Most of the shirts that I have are gifts, but there's one that I got a while back specifically from my older sister that I just thought was a really cool concept, at least of like the image that was on there. I don't know if I have it with me in my apartment here. If I don't, I might just have to try and show you a picture of it. But let me take a quick look in my closet. Hope you don't mind. It should just be a real quick stepping away for a sec. Alright, let me see here. Let me see. Nope, not seeing it. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I don't think I have it here with me. It's probably actually still sitting in the closet of my old bedroom at my parents' house, which is also like a room that they use as a guest room most of the time now. Uh, Also, regarding the music, again, that's just another like kind of random song that I got off of YouTube's audio library. It seemed extra fitting at a certain moment. I think as I was editing stuff for my Juju playthrough. Real quick, let me get into my phone here, see if I can. Alright. I've pulled up a picture of the shirt. I don't know if this will come through real great on the webcam. Also realizing stream is still notably behind what I'm saying. Oh well. But so the shirt, the main reason I don't wear the shirt is because I'm for whatever reason my sister decided to get it as a 3/4 length sleeve, which, you know, goes to like here on my arm, and it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed and felt slightly weird to me. So I've never actually worn the shirt, I don't think, for more than just like a few seconds, but hopefully this will show up decent through the webcam. But, yeah, there's the shirt in question. It's like a Pokemon Kingdom Hearts sort of fusion of sorts, you might say. Because that whole circle, you know, almost stained glass look is a big thing in the Kingdom Hearts games. That's how a good number of the games actually start things off. You'll be on a platform where that's like what you're standing on. But it also brought in just that idea, but put Pokemon stuff on there. And I'm sure there's actual other Kingdom Hearts lore that brings more significance to those, but I don't need to go into a whole lot of detail on that. So yeah, as far as any shirt I have ever been gifted, other than that being 3/4 length sleeve, that one's probably my favorite. But yes, I am wearing a Pokemon shirt because I guess it's fairly easy to find Pokemon shirts, and you know, I at least at one point was a decent Pokemon fan. Anywho. Alright, Yes, I do also believe we have discussed our mutual enjoyment of Kingdom Hearts. I also kind of think whenever a release date for Kingdom Hearts 4 gets announced, especially if there's a decent enough amount of time beforehand, I might actually try and make an effort to go back and play through as much of the series as I can for, like, content and whatnot. Leading up to the release of Kingdom Hearts 4, whenever that happens. Gonna be perhaps a little harder to do on Xbox, although I know there's like one kind of big collection of a bunch of the games that eventually was made available on Xbox. Was probably on PlayStation first, but pretty sure it's also available on Xbox now. Anywho. Alright. Well, with no other input on the game that I'll be playing today, I think I'm just going to do some more of Grow Up and try and get a bunch of the collectible things in here. Well, and then there's also a bunch of, like, challenge stuff to do in the game. Might also go for some of those. What's up, Jackster on Kick? I'm not really inclined to answer your question because I don't want to make any assumptions on your meaning there. Alright, so... Right. I don't know why this loading screen is so long. Probably because it's loading, like, the entire game. Because from what I could tell, based on playing this a few days ago, this whole game is all available seamlessly. Like, there's no other loading screens or transition points or anything like that. At least once you actually start getting into it. So, Al, you got the big collection. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that same one is available on Xbox. Like, I could download it through that game store. As of yet, I have not done so, but I'm thinking I will eventually. Alright. Come on, game. There we go. Alright. Pretty sure this is the highest elevation I've made it to in this game. Mission stats. Greatest height, 1957. I've gotten all but 2 of the, like, ship parts. So, honestly, I'm otherwise pretty close to, finishing the game, I think. But the crystals and stuff, yeah, those seem like they're going to be helpful to collect. Completing the challenges just gives me other skins or suits. Sorry. But yeah, so I'm not sure I'm going to focus too much on those. But the crystals should definitely be helpful. Which is why I'm thinking I might want to go get more of those. I'm definitely gonna have to get myself down a little lower first, though. So let me select another destination here. That's still up kind of high. A bunch of these are still up kind of high. That one's low enough. Let's teleport to that. See, like, even there, with the teleporting, there was, like, no loading screen needed whatsoever. And also, how close... Wow, I only have 3 of these plants left. Interesting. That's the one I've used the most. Well, that and, the trampoline. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Suppose I can kind of edit the stream info on Kick here. I don't think Grow Up is one of their options for a category, so... I'll just change the overall category to games and demos and leave it at that. Alright, but now I gotta look at the map to see about... Okay, that's a telerouter that I didn't get before. These pod challenges are the ones that unlock the suits. I don't really care too much about those. My main objective is going to be gathering crystals. Where is a crystal? Did I really clear out the surface level that well already? There's another telerouter. Pod challenge. I got the thing that is supposed to tell me where the crystals are, right? Or is that... Oh, maybe that's not in this, like... kind of... world map type thing. Alright. Jovi, what's up? How's it going? Ooh, just for fun, I want to see if I can... I heard there was a chance of, like, messing around with some of the bugs and stuff in this game. I missed. Alright, whatever. Enough fooling around with that. There's a crystal on the other side of the water here. Hit. There we go. Nothing much working out at the gym, Jovi. Okay. Yeah. I kind of forgot for a little bit that's often what you're doing when watching my streams. But, hey. Respect. Go get them gains. I just... With as much as I do here... And, you know, my full-time job being a fair bit of exercise on its own, I currently don't really have any motivation to go to a gym. Alright. See, now I'm trying to look around for crystals, and I'm not having much luck with it. Yeah, that was the main thing I wanted to do at the moment. in this game because, yeah, getting the crystals, that's kind of what allowed me to get the second, like, battery thing here for the jetpack, and also powered up the jetpack in another way. Owl gonna head out. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Owl. Hope you have a good night. I'm also glad you could be here for the Bible study. But, yeah. Take care, and, well, I won't see you next week, but, I will be streaming the week after again. So, yeah, hopefully I'll see you then. I guess, potentially either on YouTube or on Twitch, since I'll be going back to that. You know what? I could change the suit to something other than the genie this time. I kind of like the look of the astronaut one, too. So let me go with that. With the elevation change, that made it look like a really long jump. Yeah, thanks, Owl. I definitely plan to have some fun seeing my family. Even if part of it will involve a little bit of NFL football-related trash talking. Nah, I don't trash talk much. Okay, did I already get... Yeah, I think I've already been to that telerouter. So where is the crystal that my radar thing here is saying I'm kind of close to? And that jetpack really did get upgraded. Oh, I bet you that's the crystal in question right there. Yep. Come on. Grab the crystal. I was never real good at getting this to actually do the thing that I want it to do. There we go. Crystal! Huzzah! I'm now at 23. Really wondering what upgrade I'll get when I get to 30 crystals. Where to go next? Oh wait, that's the feather equivalent there. Oh, so those change with each suit as well. Interesting. Come here. Hiya. I know there's something or another that you could do with these that, like, gets you an achievement. I completely forget what it is, though. I don't know if it's that particular, animal, creature thing. But I know there's an achievement related to, messing around with some kind of animal thing. Hold up. I see something down low here. Oh, that's not a crystal. I thought that was a crystal. Nope, another animal thing. I am somewhat close to a crystal somewhere, though. Is it over this way? No. I am now further. Okay. Back over this way. No. Stop. Falling like that. Oh, there's a crystal. But yeah. Falling into the water is one of the few things that is not really good to do in this game. Well, falling in the water and also just generally falling from really great heights without stopping yourself. Okay, cannot analyze this thing. Normally the game tells you if you can analyze a particular plant. Alright. Any crystals near here? So far, nothing coming up on the radar. There's a pod challenge over there. I mean, I guess I could try out some of those too. Okay. Crystal kind of close by. Am I getting closer to it by going over this way? Yes, I am. Because it's probably that crystal there. Hey, This really does feel like an astronaut kind of situation, though, so I find the astronaut suit rather appropriate. But, nope. Okay. Man. This gravity's even lower than I remember it being. Okay. Press X to start the challenge. Just for funsies. Oh, geez. I kind of overshot that one. Come on. Let's go. I don't know how many of these things I need to pass through for this challenge. Still seems like quite a few. Here we go. And then I'll just whip this out. Land on here. Whoa. My jump is too strong. Oh, also these lily pads are quite bouncy. Come to think of it. Hey, challenge complete. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what all the challenges are like. Another reason I'm not super duper inclined to try and do all those. I mean, maybe if I wanted to go, like, completionist on this game, I would. But otherwise, Nah, not so much. Snowy mountain area. I'm not sure I remember doing a whole lot in an area like this. Looking for crystals. Not these crystals. These are too big. Where's the one that the radar is picking up, though? I moved further away from it there. Ah, I see it now. Hip. Let's not get bit by that thing. 26 crystals now. Alrighty. You know, after I do this for a little while, if I get bored with it but still want to continue the stream, I'm realizing there's another game that is neither this nor Sonic Frontiers that I maybe would still want to play a bit of. So, I don't know if anybody saw on, like, my Xbox home screen, but there's this one game I have called Scourgebringer. It's a roguelite kind of game, sort of platformer based. And it pretty much just, I mean, it's what you'd expect of a roguelite. You start off with some kind of basic stuff. No real special abilities or anything like that. But then, you know, eventually as you progress, you can, you know, trade in points from defeating certain bosses and mini-bosses. And that'll get you, like, kind of new abilities and stuff to use in later runs in the game. I was primarily playing that as sort of a filler game in between planned stuff for, you know, my other sister channel, you might call it, Same Spirit Gaming. Like, it wouldn't necessarily be out of the question to play that some on this channel, too. Because, like, you know, it's a roguelike game. It's not like the experience changes a ton between different runs. Alright, I am close to a crystal. I'm just not sure which direction to head from here to find it. Oh, there it is. Alright. And hit. Boom. Right on there. Oh, there's another one that's kind of close. And the signal for it actually got weaker as I went up higher. Oh, that's because it's over here. Definitely a ship part in the jungly bit. Jungly bit. Way to be descriptive there. Oh, so this is the glider for the astronaut suit. Huh. I wonder what jungly bit Pod was talking about there. That doesn't look particularly jungly. None of this looks particularly jungly. Maybe he wasn't so much saying that because I was close to it. I'm getting close to a crystal. But also I don't want to pick up any ship parts right now, because that's kind of, you know, progressing the actual, you know, main story task quest thing for the game, and I'm not looking to do that during this stream. Alright, 29 crystals. I might also just through various random means try and get myself up to a new, like, maximum height if I can. I thought I saw another one of those, like, kind of floaty, bubbly things. But maybe I was wrong. Alright, you know what? Let me go over here. Just gliding through the air. Alright. Back to the jetpack. See, with the improved jetpack that I got from collecting crystals and just the glider ability thing, which is collected by different means, it's actually pretty easy to get some more height on stuff now. Alright. Another crystal. This should be number 30. Another battery. Alright. More battery power is better than less. I didn't need to read that to know it. Yeah. Obviously. I don't think anybody would need to read a statement like that to know that it's true. Since I'm over here, might as well enable this teleporting spot thing. I always forget what the game technically calls these. What does it call those? Telerouter. That's right. They're not called teleporters. They're called telerouters. I guess just because of, I don't know, robot stuff. I was hoping to jump off of these and get like a very springy jump for that. Okay. Yeah. Something to that effect. Is that another telerouter over there? That looks like another telerouter. But while I'm on the way, I'm gonna make a quick pit stop on this thing. Because there'll be a crystal. Alrighty. 31. Ooh, new fluoroform. Trebuchet, I think is how that's supposed to be pronounced. But that flings you for miles. Just look at, though. It's either supposed to say just look at it, though, or just look out, though. Whoa. Okay, and that's the flinging that was mentioned. I'm gonna go over here to this telerouter. And there happens to be a crystal near it. I didn't want to get blown upward by the gust of wind there, but whatever. Okay. Boom. Boom. Come on now. Nope. I told you to grab the thing. Why did you not grab the thing? No. Alright. Let's try this again. Grab the thing. And pull. There we go. Okay. Telerouter activated. I'm pretty close to another crystal. Where is said crystal? Is it down this way? Well, the radar's not getting any lower, so I would think so. Ah! It's inside the cave area here. Come on, grab the crystal. Not the rock below it. The crystal. There we go. Okay. Wonder what upgrade I'm gonna get at 40 crystals. There's another one close by still? And am I getting closer to it out here? Well, doesn't seem to be further up. At least not along the, like, rock face here. No. No. Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting further away from it. Okay. So then which way do I go to find this crystal? Do I need to go down a bit further, perhaps? Kind of wish there was an easier way to tell that. Don't see it over here. Nope. Still getting further away when I go up higher. Is there another one that's kind of like in the middle? Seems like that might be the case. So then what's the best way to get myself back into the middle? Not there. Hold up. It says I'm really close to it now, but I can't see it. So it's probably in amongst all the rock faces here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Found it. Just to make sure that I don't get blown away in the meantime. Okay. I guess I wasn't going to get blown away anyway. That's what I was thinking would maybe happen. Right there. Woohoo! Crystal? Crystal over that way. Haha! Come on. There we go. 35 crystals. And there's still another one very close by. Where might this other crystal be? Is it up higher? Yes, it is. It's gonna show a ship part in this tropical paradise. Okay. Okay. For a second I thought that bug was gonna, like, try to attack me or something. Dive! Dive! Oh, jeez. Aha! Okay. 37 crystals. Where to next? Ah, okay. Guess I'll go this way. Over in the distance there, I think I see a telerouter that I haven't quite activated yet. How much you want to bet the crystal that it says I'm close to is down in here? Yeah. Although I wouldn't think it... That's weird. It's like I'm even more floaty down here. No. Don't send me up. I want to go down. Let me go down, please. Good grief. The floatiness is really messing me up here. Okay. Alright. Huh. Crystal. Goody. Kind of makes me wonder why the gravity is so different right there. Doop-doo. I don't think I'm gonna find any other crystals on this particular little rock island thing. So let's go over this way. Honestly, I'm feeling this is not particularly interesting. Or I'm thinking it probably wouldn't be from a, you know, viewer perspective. Once I get to 40 crystals, I might either end the stream or move on to Sonic Frontiers. Okay. I've activated that now. Going up here for a crystal. Okay, that's 39. Now, where might another crystal be? That's not a crystal, that's a pod challenge. I might do that just to mix things up a bit. What? No. Okay. Press X to start the challenge. Here I go. Oh, geez, there's a new fluoroform down there, too. Huh. Okay, that was it for the challenge. Good. Didn't have to move too far from the new fluoroform just for that. Scan it for info. Yeah. Gnarls. This fluoroform appears entirely composed of knotty, grassy roots. I don't know if I'd consider it to be that gross, but anyway. And boom, crystal number 40. Hold B and release to charge with the ball. Oh, ball boost has been upgraded. Okay. So now, if I want to add a little more horizontal speed to something I'm doing, might be a little more helpful to use that. Where would I possibly want to go from here? Hold up. Do I see a crystal down that way? No, that's probably a telerouter. I'm fine. I don't need to deploy the glider yet. Maybe now, though. Although that's not even the glider. Am I close? TBD crystal. I mean, kinda. Alright, well, since I'm close to a crystal right now... Where is it? Like, I'm about as close as I could possibly be to it. Where is it? Is it down here a bit? Nope. I went a little further away from it by doing that. So what in the world? What is going on here? Where is the crystal? Am I just having a dumb moment? Am I being ridiculously unobservant right now? Or is it that I need to find another spot around this rock formation here? I've gone like all around this thing, and it's still telling me I'm close to a crystal. Probably because it's in there. Also, what is this? What's this, like, nut-looking thing? Crystal. What's with these clouds passing through here? It's really not helpful. Whoa. Now I'm not quite as close to the crystal. Does that mean it's actually, like, in the midst of the waterfall there? Oh, yeah. That is what that means. Huh. 41 out of 150 now. Okay. How do I get out of here? Definitely don't want to submerge myself in the water. Seems like there might be another crystal kind of close by, but I don't know if it's inside or outside. That's not it. See, I got further away from it when I went down lower, but I didn't see it, like, in the waterfall there either. Or is it across from the waterfall this time? I don't know. Alright, well. Doesn't feel like I really need to collect all of those anyway. So if I missed one inside there, it's not going to be the end of the world. Or maybe it's over here. No. Now it says I'm getting further from it. Maybe if I just keep jumping around this rock formation, Eventually I'll get to it. Still not seeing it. Okay, well, whatever. No big deal. Let me just have a quick look up here. Nah, I was up here before, I'm pretty sure. Okay, then. I think I've had enough of this game for now. And you know what? I'm thinking that might do it for the stream. If I transition into another game, I would want to be actively playing that for a while. You know what? Heck with it. One run on Scourgebringer, just for funsies. Meanwhile, checking notifications, nothing too important. Okay. Gonna take me a sec to remember the controls here. Right. Okay. I guess I'll start off going left. Ow. Oh yeah, that's right. There's like a combo meter thing now. That was a very recent upgrade that I got in this game. Yeah. Not my best looking run thus far, but oh well. Nope, come on, there we go. And now I've got a 1.1 combo meter. So I guess it only resets when I get hit? I thought maybe there would be... Okay. Or maybe there's also like a bit of a time limit to increasing the combo on the meter. Ow, ow. I've already taken 6 damage. This is not my best run. But honestly, I'm kind of fine with that being the case, because if it did wind up being a really good run, I'd be kind of disappointed I wasn't recording that for the Same Spirit Gaming channel, since that's, you know, the main channel I have actually been doing any sort of recording and making progress on this game so far. Oh, hello. This is a boss, looks like. Oof. Ah, I timed that poorly. Doggone it. Okay, wow. I was not particularly prepared for that one enemy. So I'm trying to think of accumulated blood converts into judge blood, right? And that's why I figured the combo meter thing would be good to then get that. Taking down enemies counts twice as much for the ongoing combo. Might need to get that first, though, before I stand a decent chance of doing much with the crystallization. But anywho, that's just a game that I kind of sort of have on the back burner. Not planning on doing a ton with it. Although I might... well, I will eventually at least do like a review type video of it. But, yeah. Otherwise, I'm not sure I'm going to do a ton with it on this channel. Expedition logs. Right. Okay. I haven't actually bothered to read any of this stuff. Inoffensive bot scouting for intrusions in the Scourgebringer. Sole purpose is to act as a transmission array for alarm bots. Alarm bot. Bot that automatically alarms its surrounding and the Scourgebringer defense system upon an intrusion. Defense bot, an ancient bot that carries the task to defend Scourgebringer against intruders. Munching slug. Can bite through the hardest of shoes. Specifically the shoes. Watch out for the ceiling, it might fall on you and leave a stain. Electrofly can produce strong static electricity with its wings. Common predator from an ancient world. Old security bot that used to be dangerous. Used to be? It's still, I mean, not... I mean, it's not like it's not dangerous. Excited version of the standard crab bot. Dash bat, don't disturb it or it will dash. Puff bat, don't underestimate its muscles. Instead that it can munch an entire devil. Ah. Hardened devil, predator that learned to survive in hostile environments. Bouncy jello, shoots barrage of bullets to avoid getting hit. Tougher jello, though as bouncy. The red jello, okay, whatever. Lock prism, locks and shoots, be aware of its laser. Oh, man. So yeah, those are like kind of the regular basic enemies that I've seen thus far. Then we get into like kind of mini bosses. Heavier version of ancient bots that, well, actually no. I wouldn't even call these mini bosses. These would be more like elite enemies, maybe you could say. Attack bot, alpha crab bot, alpha devil, alpha hardened devil. Packs a punch, it's safer to flank it. Alpha Lock Prism. If it locks onto you, better run away. Alpha Jello. Harmless, but can pretty quickly clutter things with bullets if it spawns too many Jellos. There's a bunch of those that I'm missing, apparently. Guardians. Yeah, these are probably more like the mini-bosses. Eye Construct. Ancient Devil. And the original Crabbot. Oh, I guess that one's highlighted in red because I haven't actually defeated it yet. Information incomplete. More research needed. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Judges. This is the only... So the judges are like the main bosses of the game. Tough as rock. Mind its claps and stay calm when bullets are raining. Anywho, challenges. Right. Oh, man. And I'm pretty sure most of these challenges also translate into achievements. Stats. Time. I assume that's 1 hour, 58 minutes. 11 attempts. 1,130 enemies defeated. 2 judges. Total blood accumulated 3,110 plus 12 judge blood. And 154 rooms completed. Anyway. Alright. I wasn't planning on doing a ton with this game today, so yeah. Now I think that might actually fully, completely do it for the live stream. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it. I will not be back next week because I'll be away visiting my family. But the week after, streaming is back. Kick, unfortunately, is probably going to get put on the back burner for a little while. I'm debating on maybe doing sort of some back and forth. Maybe like have my Thursday streams with Kick as the secondary platform, and then Saturday streams I'll have Twitch as the secondary. Might sort of ease into it like that at first. But then definitely by the time next year rolls around, I'm pretty sure I'll just go full on with Twitch as my secondary platform. Unfortunate that, you know, I have to choose between the two. But YouTube is definitely going to be my primary. And yeah, I'm not totally sure if it's, you know, the internet that I have, or if that's more a limitation of my computer or of OBS itself. But either way, doesn't seem like I can have 3 platforms going simultaneously with my current setup. I've heard a bunch of people mention Restream.io as a possibility, but like, you have to pay for that as far as I can tell. And I don't want to have to pay for it. Maybe it just throws the payment plans at you at first to try to convince people of the impression that I have of it. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. Enough rambling on about that. So yeah, I will also be publishing other regular YouTube videos in the meantime, even while I'm away. A lot of those are already uploaded and scheduled. Anywho, alright, that does it for tonight. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Maybe in a couple of weeks for another live stream, or sometime before then you could just tune into some of my videos. But whatever the case is, Till next time, stay cool, everybody.